While making my shooter game, I've been having this idea of making the gunfights more about mechanical skill rather than game sense. Make it feel less tactical positionally speaking and more reliant on the game's mechanics itself. Things like movement, aiming, efficient ability usage, and counterplay using those abilities, with the key idea being counterplay. I really want your feedback on this, so to give you a clearer picture, let me just mention how this concept works in a game like World of Warcraft, where it is very prevalent. So in WoW, you have tons of abilities that do tons of different things and that allow you to counter other players' abilities. So if I'm a priest and use this ability to basically disorient this paladin and help seal the deal on a potential kill, well, the paladin has this immunity bubble ability that allows him to break that disorient and make himself immune to all damage for its duration. While he is immune, I cannot interrupt him from healing, but as a priest, I also have the ability to dispel his bubble to attempt to finish him off quickly before he heals. You can see this is a constant game of chess where you are using movement and abilities to counter any types of plays the other players make. And just to help you picture this even more, some other examples of games that have more counterplay in them are Smash Bros, where you can block, dodge, and do things such as reflect or counter, and another would be Spellbreak, where you can use abilities to cancel out others or mix them to make it stronger. I always found this type of gameplay loop really fun and rewarding, but in FPS games it's very rare to see due to the time to kill being so fast. There's literally no time to counterplay in a majority of FPS games, and actually I think this is one of the reasons why people love Apex so much, because the time to kill is longer and the movement is very in-depth, and there's a lot you can do with it to allow you this type of counterplay that you really can't do in other FPS games. With that said, that means I would need to make the time to kill much longer than something like Call of Duty, for example, if I want to allow enough room to achieve this type of gameplay. Currently in the game, there is already a lot of movement that can be done to help with this as well, such as dashes, wall runs, bunny hops, and more, so I wouldn't necessarily have to make the health pools huge, because part of the counterplay would be how you use your movement to dodge and survive enemy gunfire and spells. Now, this also means the game would be much less reliant on positioning, and the maps would be designed to encourage head-to-head fighting / duels and making you put more strategy into how you are mechanically executing your abilities rather than solely relying on tactics that are more puss in nature. I fucking hate campers. And a good example is this game Guns. Obviously, this is very crazy, and my approach would not be this insane because I don't want to run into the same problem that game did, which is having way too high of a skill gap. Don't get me wrong, I love having a high skill cap, but that can lead to problems where it is very difficult for new players and casuals to get into the game and keep playing the game, which in turn leads to the game quickly dying and having a very small player base. So I definitely would need to slow things down compared to the crazy shizlets in Guns, but you get the idea. Nothing is set in stone yet, but I just wanted to get your feedback on this, so let me know in the comments. And also, one more thing that is really important to point out with this idea is implementing it in first person versus third person, as that will make a huge difference on how this plays out. And if you want to know my thoughts on that, make sure to click this video here. Okay, love you, bye.